Okay, so this is going to be a really short video to explain budgets. This is for my level 2 finance students, but it's also relevant, it's stepping up into level 3 and A level as well. So a budget is purely a plan ahead of times to predict or to anticipate or to limit how much will either come in or go out of a company in a certain time. So you have two halves to it. You have the income, the revenue or sales department part, which is the money that's coming in from sales or whatever activity you take. And then you have the costs side of it. So that's the things that have to go out of the company to pay for the activities. And what a company does is it, for sales, it budgets how much it would like to sell of different products or in different stores. This could be divided by store rather than product. And it also budgets how much it will allow for different departments to spend in the future, in the coming 6 months or year. This is what the limit will be of their spending, whereas the income, the revenue, the sales is the amount they would like. They would like this to be higher, if possible, and they would like this to be lower, if possible, the cost to be lower. Then at the end of that time period, a record is taken of the actual figures. So you can see here in this example, product X, they were budgeted to bring in sales of 200 million. They've only brought in 187 million. So it's lower. That's a bad thing. Here they were expected to take in 356 million and they've brought in 362 million. That's better. It's up. It's higher, and that's good because it's money coming in. Notice, however, though, when we get to the costs, if the figure is higher, that's bad because we should have kept the costs down. So here marketing should have only cost 46 million and it cost more. It cost more, that's a bad thing, so it's 55. So you'll notice that the colours and the arrows, I've just drawn these on, are the opposite way in sales, in revenue. Higher is good, but in costs, higher is bad. Okay. You'll get to a point where you need to that's all very well. You can draw the budget, you can write a budget, you can say the values, the differences. But you, to get those higher grades, and really to be thinking about it properly, because we can use spreadsheets for this now, what we really need to be doing to be thinking a little bit harder. So I'm just going to bring fraction. To make use of this value, you need to be able to explain to your clients why they should set budgets and then whether or not it will help. So why should they set them? Well, because if you are going to ask somebody to give you an investment, you need to explain that you have thought through where the money will come from and how much things will cost, to gain financial control within your business so that you're not just wildly spending. You see this in house building shows, grand designs, where they plan certain things but they go above, and if they're too casual about it, they will run up their costs too much. So that you can review, you say where you were going to be, and then you review it afterwards. You let firms, it lets them say what their priorities are. In the example above, you say which departments are going to be the most costly. So here we have said that administration will not be as important financially as marketing and promotion. It improves performance, for example, by setting a budget for your income, your revenue, your sales here. You're pointing people towards what success looks like, and then they can try to achieve that and beyond. And it gives responsibility. So if a department is told that they have 46 million to spend, they know they have got that to stop at. They know that is the point they have to stop. I'm just going to stop my video and let my cat in a minute. Hold on. So as a true cat, she decided she didn't want to come in at that point. Let's see what happens. So what can be the problem? That all sounds great. What's the problem? Well, it imposes a limit that may not suit a department. It may not be possible to accurately set a budget. If a technology is new, or if a company is in flux or growing quickly, that might be difficult. We all know this is the big one this year, the unforeseen changes. For example, Debenhams could not have predicted at the start of the year the shutdown that we've had. And it takes time to set budgets which could be used for something else. Benefits and drawbacks, they give direction, as I've said. They can allow a business to make those smart, targeted targets, those specific and timely targets. They make things more efficient. Instead of just spend, people know where they have to limit. And they can make people plan more carefully. However, it might be unfair. A department might say that they, this year, need more of a budget because something has changed, or it wasn't fair from last year. And those, how budgets are set is something that you take on further on, whether you take on a historical view, we did this last year, so we'll give the same next year, or whether you start afresh each year and a company has to, each department has to set its own fight for its own budget. One problem could be that in order to look good in the budget, a department might make short-term savings which limit or harm the longer-term interests or the strategy of the business, just to look to fit within that budget. They can be quite difficult to monitor fairly, and they may be inflexible, as we've seen, as I say, this year. It's been such an unusual year that if a business had set a budget, it would have to have reviewed this through the year. It could not be seen to be fairly judged at the end of the year. I've got a couple of examples here, just using that example I had at the top, and I just want to emphasise the difference on both top and bottom. So if you've been dreaming while I've been talking all this time, I would like 30 seconds of your time to really look at these numbers now. Notice that here at the top, it's the values that have come in. At the bottom, it's the values that are going out. So in, we want more. So when the value is more in the income, the revenue, the sales, that's good. And we would call that favourable. On the other hand, when we are spending and our costs, if it's lower, that's favourable. We like that we have spent less. On the other hand, in the money coming in, if the value is lower, that's bad. We call that adverse. And again, in the opposite direction, where money is going out, if we have spent more, if the actual figure is higher, that's a bad thing. We've spent higher than we should have done. Budgets are they make sense. They're what you do every day with your money. It's not complex stuff. It's worth noting that the sales are at the top. Sales or revenue, we call that, coming in is at the top. And all the costs going out are at the bottom. It's worth remembering that we want to get more in, and we want to spend less. So we want higher at the top than we have budgeted, and we want lower at the bottom than we budgeted. That's it.